Alright, so because I lost the recording of me making the break, I'm gonna just go and recap it. So what I did was I made this piano melody. You want to make it nice and spooky. I basically just built it on top of the other melody. Then, of course, randomization, and that's pretty much it. The piano is just the same piano as the one I used before, so nothing special there. Next, glockenspiel. This plays the top melody only. So I like using glocks because they have that kind of spooky sound, but then they're quite high, so they complement the piano well, which is quite low. So you can hear how the piano takes up the lower bits while the glock takes up the higher bits. I got the glock from this soundfont. I can't remember where I got it. If I do remember, then I'll stick it in the description, as well as the string soundfont, but I really cannot remember. And on the glock, I just put this EQ to cut out all of the lows, then a slight cut around here, OTT to compress it, then delay and reverb, quite high this time, because the break is quite atmospheric, so lots of delay is good. And then finally a parallel compressor. This was just because I felt like, or slightly less compression to it, so a parallel compressor was a bit better there, so that I still have some dry sound. After that, strings. The strings just play octaves. Very orchestral. So these have a nice boost around the mid. They're cutting out here, again, because A, that's where the piano is going, and B, it's actually a little bit muddy here. Then lots of reverb. Lots and lots of reverb, because the strings are going to be quite in the background. And then just a little bit of soft compression. Then the pads from earlier, and then bass. So I actually made the basses for all of the breaks and the build-ups. So the bass is just a simple bass, just these two serums here. Actually, this is not a serum, this is just a triple oscillator. So this triple oscillator literally just plays a sine wave. Like, that's all it is. Just a sine wave. Actually, there might be a tiny bit of triangle. Nope, it's just a sine wave. That's just an EQ that just takes out anything that's not in the sub, because sub bass got to be simple. Then here's the bass that's doing most of the work. So it's a pretty chill bass. It's got this Reese wavetable from the Virtual Riots thing. Then a sine wave to FM. Then there's this flanger filter, or whatever, FLG, flag filter. Yeah, I'll just call it flag filter, going into both oscillators. But this one doesn't make any sound, so I don't know why I put it on that oscillator. Filters everything, I guess. With a cutoff around there, bit of resonance, not too much, and quite a lot of drive to add some saturation, I guess. Then I distorted it a little bit, actually quite a lot. Oh, and the wavetable position has this LFO on it. It's a pretty slow LFO, just add some variation. Then I EQ'd out a lot of the highs and added a bit more mid. Then I saturated it. This saturator takes up a lot of CPU, but it's free, which is good. And then just put a bit more of the high mids. Then on the bass bus, just a camel crusher, EQ to fix a few frequencies, and compressor to compress it all together. Then on the next section of the break, I put in some orchestral drums. So here's an orchestral style kick. It's just a sample from Kushmir pack. Just cut out the stuff below the sub and then compressed it a bit, or a lot actually. And then an orchestral style snare. This one I put a little bit of distortion to make it just hit a little bit harder, then cut out the sub as usual, and a compressor. Then the main melody filters in. And I put the bass in the build-up as well. It's just the same bass as this bass, but it plays the notes of these pads instead of these pads. But yeah, anyway, have a nice day. Goodbye.